Whoa! Welcome to the What's Already podcast, where we fashion ourselves cinematic judge and jury. My name is JJ Carter. I'm here with my co-hosts Mattson
Better red than dead.
and Alec Burgess.
Let's get it.
We appreciate you tuning in. Go ahead, hit that follow, subscribe, like, bell notification buttons. Tell a friend about us. Tell a family member about us. Tell your local crazy handyman that wants to go to Pakistan about us.
You know him too. He's the one in the grocery store yelling at the bread.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, don't talk about me like that. So yeah, we're deep into it now. Week 3 of our Nicolas Cage marathon month of September. It's been interesting so far, and it's only going to get more interesting. So this week we're diving in to our 3rd week, and it is Army of One. This movie was released November 17th, 2016. This is a weird date because I don't think it came out in the United States first, if I'm being honest. So we'll go with that. November 17th, 2016. Oh, wow. My little script here is going crazy. It was written by Raheem Joseph and Scott Rothman. It was directed by Larry Charles. Stars Nicolas Cage, Russell Brand, Wendy McClendon-Covey, Amar Chadha-Patel, Paul Scheer, Will Sasso, Dennis O'Hare, Rainn Wilson, and Zachariah Atifi.
This is not a movie that you want to be known for. Let's just put it out there.
Oh, shut up.
This movie, after a personal visit by God himself, the eccentric construction worker Gary Faulkner takes the decision to embark on an adventure in the badlands of Pakistan to bring Al-Qaeda's leader Osama Bin Laden to justice. Listen, I'm excited to talk about it. I'm going to keep my mouth shut. We know Mattson hates this movie, so let's start with him. Because I'm interested.
Interesting fact here. Did you know that Nicolas Cage actually took sword training for this movie?
I didn't, but I love that. Hey, if there is one thing about Nicolas Cage that no one can say is that he is not dedicated to his craft. This man, no matter how bad or weird or shitty the movie, Nick Cage doesn't fuck around. Like, this guy, he's serious. And I'm telling you, half the movies he's in are shit, and he's terrible. But he doesn't fuck around. The guy commits. So I appreciate that about him.
Dude, oh my God. This movie on so many, just even the accent and like the personality he decided to take, the full-blown over-the-topness just quickly grated on me in a way that I was like, man, this just hurts all the time, just always, every time, just hurt. Doesn't matter, hurt. And if I'm the guy, the real Gary Faulkner, I'm sure he's also weird and messed up, and he probably just absolutely loved it and like kicked and giggled. But dude, if I'm like the parents of Gary Faulkner, I'm like, man, you did our son so dirty. Just making him look stupid, like just super stupid. And then what's the lady, his female interest, that I should be able to name that actor's name? The one that he ends up with, like his girlfriend.
Oh, you're talking about Wendy McClendon-Covey?
She was like a good actor. She would like played like a real part. I'm like, what are you doing in this movie? Like, this is, and I'm sure that part probably wasn't even real. I'm sure they added that because they needed something else to like tame the craziness of Nick Cage. But my gosh, what a dumb movie. I will say Russell Brand's carry, like some of his comments as God. I mean, did I enjoy those scenes? Yeah, those were funny. Like, I'm not gonna poo-poo that. Like, quite enjoyed most of them. And then it was just poo-pooed by Cage, like, immediately. Anytime he opened his mouth, I was like, please, no, like, no. This story is also just incredibly absurd and truly amazing. Like, this guy is a person you want to go get a drink with for a night and just be like, I sat down with Gary Faulkner, and wow, what a weird human being. But this movie, please, people, as I say, I'm a man of the people. Don't watch this movie. Read the story. Like, watch the interviews of this weirdo. Do not watch this movie. It's so painfully bad. And Nick Cage's voice, like, I don't know how he stayed serious doing this. Like, God help him. He's a special man.
Absolutely love it. All right, Alec, go ahead, buddy.
I mean,
Wasn't this
exactly.
Alex? Was this Alex's movie?
This is
This
an Alec
was.
pick. Yeah.
What? Tell me
100%.
why you watched it. Give me all. How,
Because we needed to put 3, and so I went 2, and I didn't know anymore, so I scrolled real quick.
did you
and went,
you randomly picked this?
randomly picked, and I
Alec.
have never picked
Oh.
something so
Alec.
amazing in my life.
Oh,
Watch
you know-
this movie. This is the best Nick Cage movie
Alec,
that I've
I'm
ever
more
seen.
mad now because I would have been like, this is some stupid thing he would pick to torture me. You didn't even know what you were doing.
I was so happy when I was
Oh.
watching this because I was like, Mattson's gonna hate it.
Oh my god, JJ didn't love it. Let's just get
This
that out
is
there.
my favorite
Oh.
Nick Cage movie.
Are you telling me? Are you
ever.
watching this again? Are you gonna watch this movie again?
Oh, 100%.
Oh, you are messed. You are sick in the head.
Dude, the
We already knew this,
Pakistan
though.
scenes are phenomenal.
You're really
The
gonna
what
watch
scenes?
this?
The Pakistan scenes where
Oh,
he's
yeah,
walking
yeah, yeah.
around Pakistan.
Oh,
Yeah,
And the
my
whole
gosh.
subplot with the CIA trying to turn him because they think he's an agent.
You know what this made me think of, Jay? This made me think of parts of Burn After Reading, where they're like,
Oh yeah.
"Do you know what's going?" You're like, "No, sir, we have no idea." I mean, it's basically like, oh my gosh, dude.
This was pure cinematic gold, and I picked it by accident. I was so happy.
Did Oshi watch this with you?
Of course not.
Okay, that tells like there's no way she's watching this with you.
Oh, she would watch it with me, 100%.
Taylor may leave me for a few days if we've watched it. In fact, I think she started to and is like, I don't know what this is. Tell JJ and Alec I hate them.
Yeah, I had nothing to do with this pick. However, I will say I'd never even heard of this movie.
No,
Okay.
I didn't either.
I'd never heard of Gary Faulkner. I had never,
No.
but so when it popped up, I'm like, what the fuck is this movie? How did Alec got us again? But I'll tell you right now, I enjoyed this movie way more than I should have. Am I saying like I would sit down and watch this movie all the time or even watch it again? I can't say that. Like, it's not one of those things where I'm like, yes, let me go watch Army of One. However, I found myself very entertained watching this movie. And here's my weird thing with Nick
Entertain
Cage.
with your hands over your eyes and be like,
no,
oh, the train
entertain with
wreck."
my hands over my stomach because I was laughing so
Oh
hard.
Yeah.
my gosh.
Like, I was so intrigued. And you're talking about Mattson. It's interesting because you're talking about like the cringe, and I get it. Like, I'm not saying I don't understand. I fully understand the cringe of the voice and the like the energy that he's giving off. But I'll tell you what, like, I was thoroughly intrigued by it. Like, it's funny because like I went after the watching this movie and I went and watched like some of the interviews with this guy, the
Yeah, I
real
did too.
guy.
Mhm.
And I mean, he's not. I mean, obviously Nick Cage played it for like cinematic
no, he's
effect.
not
And
that wonko.
yeah, he's not all that out there like that. But I mean, the guy's out there. Don't get me wrong, but he's not that like Nick.
Yes,
but
he's out there. He went to Pakistan,
Sure.
JJ's.
Yeah, I mean, he still believes that he needs to hunt. Anyway, so it's really interesting. But like Nick Cage, it's so funny because I give him a lot of shit. Like, we already talked about Con Air. We talked Nick Cage, younger Nick Cage. There's not a lot of movies that I'm like, hey, yo, this is a great movie. But the older he gets, the better his acting is. Like, again, he committed to this role, and I can say nothing other than how annoying the character is. But that's a credit to me to how committed he was to the role, because he never, like, I never questioned that this dude was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
He looked like an old man's ball sack that had like let it grow like one too many with a high pitched squeal. Like, hey, I'm gonna go Pakistan. I'm gonna go kill Osama Bin Laden.
Well, and my question is, where was this wig during Con Air? Because this would look good.
I think, you know what's funny about that? I haven't seen any references to that, but I almost wonder if he was like, let's do it. Because there's a lot of cameos and references to old, not in this movie, in the next movie we'll review, but I wonder if he like thought about what you just said. He's like, going Con Air style, just 40 years later.
Well, and I love the reference to Con Air in the movie when he's in the bar. He's like, when he's talking about they're making the movie, he's like, I look like Con Air.
Oh, that's yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. I did.
So I don't know. I enjoyed this film. I thought the content was interesting. Like the delving into this guy with obvious mental health issues, actual health issues with his kidney. Like, I was reading about him and they were talking about he's got like his kidney has like 6% of actual function. So like the fact that he even survived going to Pakistan and not having his what is it called? Why can't I think of it now? Dialysis for months or weeks. Like, it's amazing that this guy actually survived. And then the fact that, yeah, I mean, it's nuts. But I was thoroughly intrigued the entire time watching this movie. Like, yeah. Alec, you look like you were about to say something.
I was just gonna say, of course he could survive dialysis. Russell Brand called him on a holy mission. Your kidney's gonna hold up during that escapade.
That's fair. That's fair. And I love Russell Brand in this movie too.
Russell Brand was great in this movie.
Yeah, he's fun. I love Russell Brand almost all the time, period. But
I like him in most things. Sometimes he can, if you get too much of a dose, it can start to wear a little bit. But man, I could have used a little bit more in this film, but he was great. I loved him in it. He was really funny. Just like savage, like just savage God, just beating you down. Like, I loved it. I was like so sacrilegious and absolutely funny. Just, it tickled my fancy. He was great. Really great.
Oh yeah.
The writing on those scenes, I was like, okay, like, you're great, you're really great. And then Nick Cage, Gary Faulkner spoke, and I was like, oh gosh, like, just go back to God speaking, please. I wanted a God at some point to just be like, I'm messed up creating you, and like, we need to fix this voice or something. Man.
I love it. And I'll tell you what else like really got me with this movie. Like the scene in the store when he's like looking for stuff and like he runs into the girl. Oh God, why can't I think it? I'm losing my mind with names today. Marcy. And like he asked to see her tattoo and she's got that like American flag. Like, dude, I lost it. I was like, this is great. Like, they're perfect for each other. Like, it's
I think you need to tell our listeners, for those that absolutely will not watch this movie, because let's be real, many people won't. What is the premise of the actual story of this movie?
Well, I mean, here's the funny part is like that synopsis actually got it pretty good. Like, this dude gets like, he thinks maybe he did. I don't know. I'm not, who am I to judge? But like, God tells him it's his job as a man of God or American, I don't know, to go and capture Osama Bin Laden. And like, he fully commits to it. Like, he's like, God told me to do it. And the different ways, like the sailboat thing, oh my God, cracks my shit. And I love the fact that they don't show him on the sailboat like sailing. They cut to that map with the red line going in circles and shit. And then he wakes up on a beach in Mexico. It's like, what the fuck? How did that even happen? And that shit's real. Like, he fucked up sailing a boat and then he sold it and finally was like, and part of that was too because like God told him that he wasn't supposed to like use his feet. And so he was like, I'll sail there. And then he ends up taking a plane to Pakistan after he sells the boat.
Where did he get the money to do this? That's what I was always a little confused.
He borrowed it from his doctor.
Yeah, well, the doctor, but then I was like, he kept going back though. But the doctor.
Did you even watch the movie?
Yes, I did. The doctor part blew me away, where I was like, no freaking way his doctor did that. But his doctor apparently did that. Great doctor. Like, 5-star review.
Good old Matthew Modine.
Oh, I couldn't help think of what Stranger Things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Papa.
Yeah, Papa.
Yeah, only he looked normal. Like, he had normal hair instead of the weird wig shit. But it's such a weird.
Just what a wonky story. Like, when that I mean, it's kind of funny. I never heard of it. I mean, and granted, I'm not someone that watches news shows or anything, but this is like transcends. Like, this is just a wonky story. I thought it would have like made internet memes. And that's the thing I think I'm most surprised about. I don't remember any memes or anything about this, and this is like internet culture to a T. Just being like, who is this dude? I mean, stupid, funny. Like, this is everybody's hero. Like, I was just surprised I never heard about it.
Yeah, me too. That's for my first introduction to this particular human being.
Don't watch the movie, but man,
dude, watch the movie.
You really should watch the movie at least once.
Don't watch it. Don't watch it. Don't do it. But man, read the interviews, read the story. It's outlandish and pretty freaking funny.
Or don't read and just watch, because whatever Mattson read in this story happens in the movie, and it's far more entertaining.
It's so
It's
good.
not. It's not.
Well, and I just think it's so intriguing, like the fact that this dude actually did it. And then like the scenes, like it's interesting too when you watch him in Pakistan and he's getting along with everybody, he's making friends, and he's openly in an area where everyone says, right? And this is, so it's all speculated because I've never been to the Middle East. I don't know. I've never been to Pakistan or anything like that. But like the fact that they say that America is like the worst over there, right? Like everybody hates us, but like at the same time, he gets over there and everybody's really kind to him and they're taking care of him. He's got this taxi driver, he's got his hotel guy. Like, I just love this interaction of this really weird dude that's on this mission from God, and yet he's taking in everything that he does, right? Like he goes, he meets people, he has a good time, he commits to this person, he builds her a ramp, albeit he, disappears for a while and leaves her rampless for a minute, but he always comes back and has some level of joy, and like you can't seem to get this dude down, right? Like he has moments and then God will come visit him again in the form of Russell Brand and pick him up. But I just thought, like, to your point, Mattson, I know you talked about the writing with just the God scenes, but I think the writing in general for this movie was really, really good. Like a lot of good dialogue scenes, a lot of good, like, strange ways to show things that most movies would just put him on a boat sailing and looking at him, maybe probably having him talk to God again on the boat, but they just do some weird map where they have him sitting in a plane.
If they AI'd this and changed Nick Cage's voice to be more reasonable and maybe dialed him down like 20%, I think it's a pretty dang good movie.
They would ruin it if they did that.
I know. I just love, like Mattson. This is one of the reasons I enjoy like doing this with you, because like you literally just admitted that the whole problem with this movie for you is Nick Cage's voice. Like,
yeah, it drove me crazy.
I just love the Dutch.
You remember watching Army of One?
Yeah.
The one with Nick Cage?
Yeah.
And there, I'm complaining about his voice being obnoxious. The overall story was interesting, don't you think?
He did a terrible accent.
Yeah,
Nicolas Cage made an accent.
Stupid movie.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Yeah.
But other parts were funny, right?
Yeah. It was a fine movie. He looked terrible.
See, Mattson's what's wrong with the generation today. Is because...
Say hi to our listeners.
Yeah.
You can't fight with the pregnant lady. Don't do it. You'll get in trouble.
Dude, I'll fight with anybody.
That's right.
Alec always tries to fight with me, but he doesn't get there.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I just love, like, but you fully commit to it too. Like, I hated his voice, so this movie sucked. It's so irrationally rational that I can't even argue with it. I mean, I will, but it's it's so lackluster.
Dumb.
Like that's
the next movie we're gonna review could not have been better. Like this just
we might be having more arguments today, but this movie was great.
Yeah.
Like to go back to even just a story with the whole perseverance from Gary Faulkner. Like I get on a boat and I wake up on a beach in Mexico. I'm not doing anything else.
Yeah.
I'm taking that as my sign from the Almighty that, hey, you know what? You were the wrong person. I'm going to go pick somebody else.
For sure.
Because there's no way that I'm now going to hop on a plane to Pakistan if the boat didn't work out. Because the boat's a genius idea, right?
Yeah.
That's top level genius right there. And there's a historicalness to boats, right? Noah's Ark and everything in the religion. There's no planes. So you go by boat. You don't get there. Just give up. It's not going to happen for you. It's not in the cards.
When he was hang gliding and all that, was that 100% real?
Meaning
Nick Cage on the hang glider?
No, like Gary Faulkner.
I don't know.
That part, I wasn't able to find anything that actually validated that it was true. And that's where I was a little, because, man, if he had the boombox, the American, like, paraphernalia, all that, I'm like, how did he just not get shot out of the sky? Like, that's where I don't know if that's real. In fact, I'm going to try. I have to consult the internet right now and see if that's the case.
I'm sure that's embellished. I have a hard time. Yeah, like that just seemed, but I mean, it's funny, but I
really hope he did hop on a glider.
I mean, I don't doubt that the man got himself on a hang glider and was trying to go and probably broke his arm or whatever, did whatever. But like, I don't know if it's all embellished in American flag stuff with the boom. But okay, so
He
sorry,
did try it. So definitely he did try several attempts, but it never worked.
See, this
So
dude's an
I don't-
absolute legend.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
so I'm sure all the American stuff they embellished that, but
Yeah.
that was pretty brief. I was like, dude, you're just one, you'd have frozen to death, and two, if they did see you, like they're just gonna use an RPG and blow you to the kingdom come, and then Russell Brand, aka God's, be like, you done effed up over here, sending you to hell. That would have been so
Messed
funny.
up, AA Ron. No, like but this is a good point about this movie too. Again, that like you're watching it and he has like these hallucinations, right? Because of his kidney issues, whatever you want to call it. But like, so you're watching, he's having this fight with Osama Bin Laden with the swords in the cave, and like at some point you have to be the whole movie. You start to have to question, well, what is real? What isn't? Where is this guy hallucinating? Where is he having like lucid moments? And so it's like so intriguing to me because I found that interesting too. It's like, what's real? Is this another hallucination or is this actually happening? Like, it's just so intriguing.
Osama was in that cave and they totally do
Yeah.
it.
It's just, but I love the part too, how realistic it was. Like when they actually hit swords really hard and they both dropped it and we're like, oh, my hands are tingling. Because that shit was real. Like, we used to, when I was a kid, like we were like sword fight and we'd grab our baseball bats. And I don't know if you've ever smacked two aluminum baseball bats together. Dude, it's like, I mean, I don't know, like, so you hit a baseball wrong and it'll send jars up your arms. But when you bang two bats together like that, oh, dude, that was the worst feeling ever. So I could just imagine too. Like, I'm sure swords have a similar thing.
If our listening audience was wondering about JJ's brain power, I think we just got our answer there.
Hey, man, I did dumb shit. I've always admitted that. I'll try almost anything once. And hey, sword
Charles,
fights
like
are
we talked
important when you're a
about,
kid.
like we talked about, we're here for a donation and we'll get JJ to do something. He just said he's here for a good time. So maybe not pick a movie next quarter. Maybe something
Hate
else.
fighting in Pakistan.
See what I can do.
JJ's hang glider is going to need some special capabilities there.
That fucker better be sturdy. I need an industrial sized hang glider. Shit better have some rocket power.
JJ's hang glider is going to have a cup holder and snacks.
In-flight movie, fucker. You could probably do that shit. You could probably put like a phone, attach a phone to that shit. I've seen those hang gliders. They got some time to spare. Man, I'll tell you. Look, Alec, I have to commend you. So I find a lot of movies, like we've done some like hidden gem months and we've talked about movies, and Casey's usually my go-to for pick a random fucking movie that turns, and I'm like, God damn it, I don't want to watch this movie. And then I'm like, fuck, I'm glad I watched this movie. It was pretty good. And congratulations, Alec. You've now become the second person that has given me a movie that I'm like, I really don't like. When I saw it on the list, I was like, Army of One. What the fuck is this movie? So I Googled it and I'm like, oh, fuck off. It's like, what did we get, Alec? God damn it. And then 10 minutes into this movie, I'm like, well done, sir. Well done. I am enjoying this. I am intrigued by this. And I shouldn't be. I'm mad at myself when I'm watching it because I was liking it so much. But yeah, I was thoroughly entertained.
No, this is why people don't listen to them.
I almost feel like
just look at the movie poster. It's stupid. He looks so dumb.
Whoa.
It is.
JJ worked really hard to get this movie poster up, Mattson.
Yeah.
Whoa, now.
Yeah, there's a phrase called working harder, but you better work smarter, not harder. Sorry, I said it the wrong way. And Nick
that
Cage,
sentence was working harder.
Yeah, I almost messed it up. And oh my gosh, I'm done talking about this movie. Let's rate this thing.
No, I almost feel like I should have taken credit for this now, but I honestly had never heard of this movie either, and I just kind of scrolled through IMDb and went, boom, there we go. But I got in the habit a couple years ago. We have a used refurbished type video store here in Phoenix called Zia Records, and for a while Ocean and I would do like date night and literally
Oh shit.
pick a movie and whatever's there is there. And I've actually taken a couple of those picks that we just randomly selected and they've been on the podcast.
Nice. I love that. Like I said, I fully commit to that. Like I said, Casey will go. It's so funny because we'll get in and like we'll go to a streaming service, whether it's Amazon or Paramount Plus, whatever it is, and they have like the side scrolling little video things, and she'll go to movies and she'll go so fast it makes my fucking head spin. Like I'm like, I can't watch this shit. I'm getting sick to my stomach. And then she'll just stop and go, okay, this one looks good, and she'll hit it. And it could be because someone's in it that she likes, or the poster on the thing she's like, that looks intriguing. And I'm sitting there 9 times out of 10. I'm like, God fucking, I don't want to watch this. This looks terrible. And then a half an hour later, she's like looking at me. I can feel her. You know how you sitting on the couch, you just feel them fucking staring at you. Yeah. So I can feel her staring at me, and she'll fucking pop in and she goes, I see it on your face. You're having a good time. You like this movie, don't you? You didn't want to watch this movie, but now you're liking it. So I was fucking watching this movie, imagining Alec just looking at me like, you're having a good time, aren't you, fucker? Yes, God damn it, I am. I like this movie. I will say, even for a 90-minute movie, because I think it's only an hour and a half long, it's not a very long movie in terms of runtime. I will say, though, that it felt longer than an hour and a half.
It did. I'll agree with that.
Yeah, it dragged on a little. Like I was like, okay, and I think this is one place where I'll give Mattson credit. Like I didn't mind his voice. I thought it was committed. I thought it was funny, but it did drag on because there's only so much they can do with this guy, right? Like he's got one mission, and that's to go find Osama Bin Laden. You have to find things that make him interesting and make the movie interesting. So that's where all the over the top stuff comes from. But like after an hour of it, I'm like, okay, this is funny, but it's time to wrap this up. Where are we going with this? Like, what's the point, right? So I do say, even in a 90-minute, which is a nice runtime, it did feel longer than that. So I think it could have been an hour and 15 minutes.
He wore you down.
True. By the end, I was ready to be done with it. I was like, okay, it's time for this movie to end. And when it ended, I was like, that's satisfying. Okay, that's cool.
That's why I don't think this, like, if you watch this movie again, Alec, I'm not going to speak for him. Who knows what goes on. But I don't think you'd enjoy it as much, JJ, because I think you'd be like, I've been here, kind of done that.
Yeah, and that's, excuse me, I said early on, like, I wouldn't watch this. I wouldn't sit down and go, ooh, I want to watch Army of One. Now, I would if someone hasn't seen it and they're like, I'm in the mood for like some random ass movie. I'd be like, dude, I got the perfect random ass movie. And I would watch it with someone to see them go, what the fuck am I watching right now? Like,
JJ be on the couch just watching them be like,
you're having a good time, aren't you?
If I come back to you, like, you want to watch and you subjected me to this is like Guantanamo Bay type torture right here.
Oh shit, I fucking loved it. And I loved it. And that's okay, because like half the fun would be watching them. And if they hate it, be like, gotcha, bitch. And if they liked it, gotcha, bitch. Like it's a win-win for me introducing this movie to somebody.
All right, what am I rating this thing? JJ, tell me to rate it.
Well, it's Alec's pick, so he's got to rate
Alec,
first.
What how are you gonna skew this? Heaven forbid we get into the Force, but I think we might.
Well, see, now that you said it, I almost feel obligated that I have to go there.
Planted that shit in his brain. Oh, God,
no, okay. Rate it 3.5.
All right, so Alec's not full blown serial killer crazy.
Okay, 4.5.
There you go.
No, 3.5. This movie was going in completely knowing nothing. I loved it, but it's still not what you would call a very good movie, I would say. So I enjoyed watching it. I thought it was great. I thought this was the best Nicolas Cage movie I'd ever seen in terms of him personally. I was like, dude, Nick Cage is back. But the overall kind of encompassing story, there was times where I was kind of lost going, wait, what? Because it kind of tended to jump from like JJ, you were saying, from hallucination to real life, and then Pakistan to now he's back in the States. So there's a little bit of jumble here or there, but when it came back strong, it came back strong. So yeah, 3.5 for me, and I will be watching this again. 100%.
Alec, last time I checked, when someone says this is like a not good movie, usually that doesn't mean like you give it a 3.5, and just like want to just call that out about your rating scale there. So
I was channeling my inner Mattson, is
There
what
you
I was doing it.
All right, Mattson.
this movie's a 1.
Wow, that's harsh.
Yeah.
I'm done. Thank you. Move on.
All because of the voice. Like, that's the best part, is he's done because the only thing he's going to shit on is the voice.
And while no, the second thing I want to call you called out the second point is probably because of the voice. You wanted this movie to be over because you were ready and done and be like, well, I've seen it. I know what the mission is. There's nothing else coming. It's a 1. Thank you.
All right. I'm going to give this movie a 3. I had a good time watching it. I liked it. Again, I wouldn't watch it again unless it was under the pretense of making someone else watch it for the first time. Because it is it's long as far as the content, because it does run out of content. But I have no problem. Like, if you want to see Nick Cage in a role that's very different from what he became famous for, this is a great choice. Like, it's so weird. It's so off the wall. It's so interesting and different. And he really, like I said, he commits. Like, I cannot fault his acting, even though his voice gets annoying. But, like, yeah, there's some really fun, interesting, and it's kind of one of those things where I want to come away saying it's just kind of a wholesome movie to me. Like, you know what I mean? It's so fucking weird and it's so off the wall. But I felt really good when I was done watching it. I was like, it's kind of lifted up in the air and happy.
I guess the way it ends, I could see why you'd come to that conclusion, but that would be an interesting. You drop that on Rotten Tomatoes, JJ movie. This is a wholesome movie. People are like, "Frick, movie did this guy watch?"
Hey, maybe wholesome's like uplifting or feel good movie. Like,
I like wholesome. I like wholesome.
I think those are the better choice of words than wholesome.
I felt better after
family movie affair. Watch it with your kids. It's great.
I didn't say it was family friendly. I just said,
Mommy, why is God
wholesome.
so mean?
I came out feeling better after watching it than I did before I started it. In fact, I was kind of grumpy when I started it, and then I left going, "Hey, I feel good." So yeah, 3 for me. I'd watch it under a certain circumstance, but I wouldn't just watch it by myself for the sake of watching the movie. So there it is. Nick Cage round 3 in the books. Alec, tell everybody where they can find us.
Happy to, JJ. So thank you for tuning in to our review of Army of One. Mattson's wrong. This movie's great watch. Special thanks to our patrons, Raging Dumpster Fire, Richard and Mel Brooks, for suggesting the topic of Nick Cage movies and for selecting a stellar lineup that I believe I am mostly responsible for this month. So thank you for that. This is my new favorite month, Nick Cage movies all the time. Patreon is a place to get involved with our content, so follow us there at What's Our Verdict Reviews to get as engaged as possible with monthly topic selections and movies within said topic. With that, I will kick it back to the King of Crash, the Wazir of WAP, a JJ.
Thanks, buddy. And pretty soon we'll be exploring a new set of videos, Mattson eating on camera. So watch out for those.
Hungry, baby.
Always got to have his snacks.
As I say, we'll get some ASMR from Mattson with the crunching on apples and a sandwich. Stop it. You're going to make me, I hate that sound. So there it is. As always, I'll let him finish chewing his apple before he finishes his outro line there. So with that, as always, we appreciate you tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one.
Bye. You want to see me eat? Watch YouTube.
That's right.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Send the magic out.
Whoa!